Well, bam, welcome back to the Neilbone Fishing. I was watching this channel called Neilbone Fishing, and that dude is freaking cooler than a cucumber. But anyway, in today's video, we got all these baits to go through here. We're not going to go through all of them, but as you see, there's 6 bags here that, been sitting around in this bedroom for months. Some of it even close to a year that I haven't got around to show you guys. And now we're going to freaking go full throttle, start going through these suckers. I'm not going to go through all of this at once because it'd be a lot, but we'll do between a couple videos, we'll get these suckers all out because I do plan on getting all this straightened up. Wintertime, there's not much I could really do if we ice over, so it's a good time to clean up and stuff like that. But that's the bait wall there, looking pretty pathetic. I mean, there's just like baits on top of baits hiding, all kinds of stuff in here, as you can see, and it's just a mess. It's so unorganized. It's kind of hard to put a backpack together when you're going out fishing, having all this stuff, especially as unorganized as it is. But what we're going to do is check out this stuff and see exactly what we got here. I'm going to turn the camera around, show you guys some cool baits, and if you see anything in the video and you want a link to the bait, let me know. Give me a timestamp in a comment there. I'll try my best to find a bait for you and put a little link there for you, but be careful with that. Make sure it's actually me sending you a link. Click on the profile, make sure it's actually me, because you don't want somebody sending you a dirty, sneaky link. Who knows where it would take you. I want to make sure you guys are safe. All right. I don't know if you're even allowed to put links in comments. It may be a thing that you're not allowed to do, but I'll help you find a bait. So trust and believe that. All right. But anyway, let's turn the camera around and check out some of these baits and get through some of this stuff. Welcome back. First things first is, I guess they're calling it the Bass Solo right here, but we get 8 baits to a pack here. Shows the different rigging options. Let's see if we could get a good view of that there. Shows all the different ways there, but let's pull one out of the package here. Trying to not shake the camera around. But this is a pretty cool looking bait right here. It has little fins on here. It looks like it will help give it a little bit of a gliding motion there. Like maybe face down, ass up in the water there, because your hook will be up here. Most of the weight will be up front. So it might have like a little spiral motion to it. Not too sure. It is a nice firm like silicone plastic. It feels very tough. Like it would be hard to rip out, Has a nice little hook slot there, so pretty cool, really finessey. I do very good with pink, so I do like pink baits there. There's a little something in there, but pretty cool looking. I like it. It's just a very basic design, kind of looks like a Ned Fry with some legs. Pretty freaking cool. But you do get 8 of these suckers, which is a pretty good deal. Seems like it will last quite a bit right there. But really cool little details. I wonder how the action's going to be. And they have these in different colors, I could picture like an all black working good, a green pumpkin. But I went with the pink, A lot of times the pink just does good for me. Not that the other colors wouldn't do good, but wanted to have some fun with it. So got that sucker. Now, these ones are really freaking cool. These packages that they're in really mean nothing. I've seen the same package used for a lot of different baits. It's just a generic quality fishing package. But it's what's inside the package here. We do get 5 of these in a pack. And they're really freaking cool. You're going to like these a lot. These things look pretty awesome. And they're made of a great material. Look at all that stuff there, huh? It looks like if a kid were to draw an octopus or something, It looks crazy. Nice chunky plastic here. Best part is very stretchy. It's like a TPE material. So all these strands here, they're sticking together now, but in the water, they're all going to have their own independent action and all stand out. It's really going to flare out, but you could drop shot this sucker, wacky rig it. You can put an EWG and just fish it whole. I mean, I feel like it's got a lot of endless opportunities. I feel like you could even just put a hook and just fish it on top of the water. It might float and you could just scoot it along, and probably will look pretty good with all these legs. Every time you pull it forward, all the legs are going to come back, and then on a pause, they're all going to want to go back to their natural resting place, which could give us some action. But this is just a black and blue flake right here. Pretty freaking cool. As you see, all these little strands are very stretchy. So I like these a lot. Digging these suckers. I think they're going to work out pretty great. And it's going to be some fun ways to catch fish and just have something a little bit different out there on the water from anybody else on the water that day. Now this is one brand right here, Bite Times. They seem to have a lot of cool stuff. There's like a couple brands on there, B&U being one of them. They have a lot of nice soft plastics, but Bite Times also, anything I ever got in this package has always been pretty freaking cool. So I know I got these in a couple different colors here. You know, it's like the rise of all the dust, fuzzy baits and stuff like that. I mean, I don't know if this is a copy off of something. You know, I'm not really sure. My first time ever seeing this bait was actually on Temu. So, you know, very well could be some JDM bait that I don't know about that's made by somebody else. But all in all, I think it's pretty cool. It's not like a TP material. It's more like your silicone plastic. It seems like it's going to have some good durability. And these little strands right here is like really what makes the bait like really stand out awesome. Very nice injection. Like whatever machine that they have that pours the baits, like there's no air pockets. Everything's solid. Like the quality's great. And they do have a little smell to them. Like, you know, like that one of them smells you'd be familiar with like the JDM baits or the baits you get from like China and stuff like that. But pretty cool. Got quite a few in the pack here. Looks like we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these suckers. So pretty cool. They do come in this little tray here, so you can see all the baits in their glory. Pretty cool. You can see this one's smaller, so I noticed they do come in 2 different sizes, and I noticed they always give you one small one. I don't know if it's like a pro bono to make you want to order some smaller ones, but you can see this one's bigger, this one's smaller. So if you find that this is too big, you could even get a smaller one. But really cool. I think these suckers here are going to do very well and catch some nice fish. So we're going to package these up and put these to the side. Bam. So for like $1 or $2, picked up all these snaps here, and these ones actually seem like they're pretty good quality here. They're a nice tough filling wire. Oh, phone's dying. I gotta put it on the charger. Seems like it's a really tough wire, hard to disengage and engage. It seems really tough. I feel like it's at least like a 20 pound to 30 pound snap right here. I feel like it could hold quite a bit. One thing I do want to show you is a snap that you don't want to use. Now there's snaps. This is a little bit of a better one because it has a little way for it to lock in. This part right here has this little bend. It's all bent out there to keep it from slipping, but they do make these other snaps that doesn't have that bend. It's just a straight wire that clips inside there. And with the littlest pull, like when it's clipped in there, it's hard behind the camera. But if you get a snag or you catch a fish, you pull, this sucker will just slide out and you get something like that. These snaps right here are garbage. I don't ever use them. Wouldn't recommend using them. Maybe if you're going for a panfish, fine. But really stay away from these snaps right here. If you want a snap swivel, just take this crap off right here, right? You could go like this. Let me look beyond the camera. I could probably just break this thing. Anyway, you just get yourself a barrel swivel like this, right? And you put your own snap on it. You know, you get a good quality snap. And link these together here if you want to have that little swivel motion. But yeah, picked up these and they seem pretty decent. I really like snaps. Grew up using snaps, especially in the winter time when your hands are cold. You don't want to tie knots a whole bunch, especially if you're switching lures and stuff like that. Very awesome snaps. Anyways, let's get to the next. And here's the other color. And this is what I call like a black neon. As you can see, very nice. Got the red flake, the red strands in there. Looks like they used 4 pieces of a silicone skirt right there. Just popped through. which when you think about it, 4 is really not that many, but it really looks like a lot on this bait, you know? So I think that's pretty cool. Just wanted to show you the other color, because when I got this sucker, I said, damn. I actually went back and ordered more, so that's how I got some of these different colors, because I liked the bait, checked out the quality. I said, that seems pretty cool. Ordered some different colors. And then let's just dump all these out. It came in this package, which was kind of a bummer, you know. I feel like, you know, you might order it one time and it comes in a nice clamshell, and then other times, you know, it's like they run out of clamshells or something. But you may recognize this bait, pretty familiar. Z-Man makes this. This one's really out of whack here. And the thing about Elastec, there's not much you could really do. You cannot put it in boiling water, because all it's going to do is really melt the bait. It doesn't do good. The only way you could straighten out an Elastec bait is with a hair dryer. But we got pink. These two are in horrible shape right here. The chartreuse and the pink. Still could catch fish on it, but this one's better. Has a nice little claw there. Little crab claw. So it's just like the Z-Man bait, but very small, very finessey. That's a nice colorway there. I went with the variety pack with the different colors, but you can see it looks like a crab. Got the eyes. Got the little crab claws, and this is supposed to be like the big crusher claw there. And it's just like a little paddle tail. Oh no, pretty cool. Very stretchy. So that's these guys here. Could have been packaged better, and it would have been way better if it was. But sometimes that does happen when you do get these baits off of Temu. This one right here, I'm digging these. These things are so freaking cool. Check it out. Got all these like little fuzzy whiskery feet on there. Looking like a really fuzzy bait there. Then it comes into this little twin tail right there. Kind of looks like a centipede or something. I'm not really sure. But looks like something that a fish would love to eat. I like the two-tone color. It kind of reminds me of like a goby style color. Really nice. This is not Elastec. It is a soft plastic. It feels a little bit softer than some of the other ones, but not as durable as, you know, like the Elastec. But I think the durability on this is actually going to be pretty great, honestly. I don't think it's going to be that bad. I would Ned rig this little sucker here or drop shot it, but I think this would look good on a Ned rig, because it's kind of like a little finesse jig with all these little things going on here. So I think this could do a lot of good stuff. I think you catch a lot of nice fish on these suckers, and you get 5 in a pack if I didn't mention that. Uh-oh, the Lush Hazer. Are you ready for the Lush Hazer? This bait's really good. I actually got these earlier in the year and fished with them and done really well on these suckers. So when I placed an order, I wanted to grab some more of these in a different color. The color I have is that I fished with is a very light tan color. Kind of like, even lighter than that. It was like a really like tan color. But look at this. It's almost like it's excited to see you, you know? Got some 2 big balls on it, and they're really dense and heavy. I mean, it's kind of like a do-live beaver or something like that. I fished this on how I fished it was on a 1/4 ounce jig head and a 1/8 ounce jig head. It just depended how deep I was fishing or how snaggy it was. But you could fill the sucker. I'll hit the bottom and I would hop it up, you know, pull the rod tip up, and you could feel these little balls do, and you can feel it just go down. Really nice. Have another bait similar to this. It's kind of like one of them do-live beaver baits or the Bronco bug. This one is actually separated. A lot of times you'll see these will be stuck together. So this is just a little different approach here. But pretty good details. This is a black neon. Wanted to get a darker color for, you know, darker water going down deep, you know. Wanted to make sure the fish could see it well. And you do get a lot in here. What do you get? This is one I was pretty impressed with how many you get. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Get 7 of these. And there's some good weight here. Like, it's a weighted plastic. I'm not sure what kind of plastic it is, but it's got some heavy weight, pretty dense plastic. So that's the Lush hazer. The mommies cannot keep their mouth off of it. Then a lot of times my bobber stops, I have a whole bunch from a long time ago from wish.com. I don't even know if wish.com's still around, but I had like 500 of these in a brown, like rubber bandish looking color. But I picked up some of these. Usually they'll come with the little, you know, little tabs to hold it, but they kind of, I don't know, maybe they just spoke. But not a problem. You could always save a tab or get a little key ring or something and wrap some around here. But I thought the color was pretty cool, so I was like, yeah, why not? And it's a nice elongated one, so it's going to have a lot of holding power for that weight there. But a whole bunch, I mean, that will last you a long time, a couple years, honestly. So I just throw a few in as I need them, and you know, got all my weights pegged. All right, here we go. Use seeing this bait, but this is in a different color here. Man, look how stretchy that dude is. I don't want to rip his leg off. Hold on. He didn't want to quite come out. There we go. Another one of these, kind of in like a watermelon color. You can see a very meaty plastic there. Pretty cool. And you could even see, I didn't notice this before, has little pinchers here. So it looks like the front two and the back two will have like a pincher style, then all the rest are straight. But really cool. And it's actually pretty thick. Like the middle of it's quite thick. Seems like it's gonna have a lot of good action because it's very soft and supple. And I can't remember if I've ever shown these before. I may have shown these in a video. Some of the items I ordered got mixed with, you know, they got all mixed around. Some of the baits jumped bags and stuff. This one I did fish with, so I have this one hooked up here. But as you can see, it's pretty cool. They give you that little dimple there so you could expose the hook. But you can see it's nice and textury here. There's a nice little hook slot there on the bottom that opens up. Some little eyes on here. But it's definitely a nice fill in plastic. Feels tough. It doesn't seem like it's going to tear out too easy or rip or anything like that. I think you'll be able to catch quite a few fish on this before you have to replace it. And not one, but 2 packs of that. I guess they're calling it Rigo. But these are pretty cool here. These remind me of when I was a kid and the bubblegum machine. You put like a quarter in and you get this like little spiky bouncy ball like this. But this is a chartreuse one. Super soft material here. Like even softer than elastic. I don't know. It's pretty crazy. Pretty stretchy there. So this sucker, you can wacky rig it and or put it on a little jig head, honestly, if you wanted to. It almost looks like a skirt. You could even be a dirty dog and slide this on like a shroom head and then put a little TRD on the back there, and it probably would look like a jig. You know, you could just use this. It's like your jig skirt. But very lightweight here. Drop shot is probably how they intended it for it to be fished, but you could do all kinds of stuff. It almost feels like it has like a little powdery coating on them, which I guess they must, because I could kind of see some powder in there. I guess they really keep them from melting or sticking to one another. So you might want to let your bait fully dry out aside when you're fishing it, when you're done with it, before you put it back in a package wet, because I don't know, whatever dust it got in there, you could feel it's like very fine. But pretty cool. Like none of these are sticking to one. I mean, these are, but they're not like sticking or melting to one another. Yeah, very soft. It almost feels like a sponge or something. Feels cool. I like it. Get a whole bunch of these in the pack too. I think when I counted there was like 10 of them. So that is a lot there. Alright, we're actually almost done the first bag. I think we're going to end it on the first bag there, but check this out. The RV bug. Pretty crazy looking bait right here. Looks pretty cool though. As you see, it has some like little paddle tails here for the arms, so it's definitely going to have a little waggle in action. Pretty loose legs there, and look at that. Very stretchy. Pretty nice colorway there. I don't know if my lighting's too good today, but really cool. This almost looks like eyes too. The antennas with the two little balls on it. Pretty cool, and you do get 5 in a pack here, so this could last you for a good while, I would imagine. So we'll fix that later. I'm gonna get these little legs back in. Actually, let's do that now. You know what? I might forget about it later and move on to something else. Kind of hard to get them where you want them, but you know, they're gonna work out anyway. And I wanted to show you these hooks I picked up. I thought they were cool. I thought that they would come with the little willow leaf or the willow blade, but I picked up 2 different sizes, and they seem pretty decent actually, you know. Like it looks like a saltwater hook or whatever, but they are sharp. As you can see, they really grip up. It's just a funky looking color, but this actually has the swivel built into it. So I do have some little willow leaves I can put on there and, you know, give it a little bit of a decoration there. I think it would have been better if they, because chances are most people that order this aren't going to have the part for it. You're going to have to order the part separate, but luckily for me, I have some crappy underspin jig heads that I plan on taking the blades off of that when the hooks get doled out and stuff like that. This is a smaller one here. Smaller size. Oh no, it's like wadded on there pretty good. I almost think I could make something like this, honestly. Like with the little swivels, but not a bad looking hook right there. You definitely would not want to like tie a line on there to another hook, because if you were to fight a fish, you know, that little well job that they have might actually break off, and you know, you might lose your swivel. And here we go, the last bait we're going to show for tonight. These suckers are pretty cool right here. I guess also from this same company here, the Rigo. But I like these little topwater TP material baits that you could cast a big good distance. You could skip them really good and you could walk them. Not sure how good this action is going to be, but if it's anything else like some of them other ones that I fished, like these guys, this bait was pretty good for me right here. I did lose the eyes, but caught a nice bass on it anyways, and it skipped real good. This sucker would bomb far. I mean, you could really throw that thing. It's a heavy plastic. And this is going to be pretty cool. I think this is going to be pretty similar to that. What I did do was I charged up my phone when I said my phone was dying, went and got some food, and now I feel like my throat's like freaking, what are we, like locked in? Oh, there we go. Yeah, look at that. Pretty cool. It's like a little mouse. Got the hook slot, the little tail. Good hunk of plastic there. Super tough. I mean, you could fish one of these probably for a very long time. And look at that, a little spot to put your hook point into. There we go, lock that focus. You see that, your hook will come out here and you got a little bubble right there just to put it in there. Pretty cool. All right, and that's gonna do it. So that's some of the baits I picked up from Temu. We got some more to go through, but I just wanted to, you know, it feels good to get some of this stuff knocked out, and now we could actually, like, you know, set it up to fish and stuff like that. But still got quite a bit more to go. Show you a little sneak peek down there. We got all kinds of crap down there, but all in all, hope you guys enjoyed. Till the next time, Peace out. See you in the next one.